Job seekers, one thing before we move into the weekend. Hopefully you're seeing this on a Friday or a Saturday. I want you to take a deep breath and either on your phone or better yet with a pen and a piece of paper, I want you to give yourself 5 minutes to do this exercise. I want you to think and write down everything that you did for your job search this week. The jobs that you've applied for, the people that you've contacted, the time that you've spent, the jobs that you've rejected because they weren't good for you. You don't have to go through a list, of course, of every job that you saw, but I want you to write down all of that stuff you did. Maybe it makes sense to write down the times that you worked. Maybe it makes sense to write down the jobs that you've applied for. Or maybe it just makes sense to, say, okay, I did this on Thursday, I did this on Friday or whatever. And then I want you to write down all the things that you did to take care of yourself this week. Did you go on a walk? Did you take a nap? Did you play board games? Did you go out to a concert? Everything you did specifically so that you could take care of yourself. I want you to write that down. And then I want you to look at those two things and I want you to realize that those are accomplishments. Searching for a job, the problem is we don't get any feedback. You don't know why you were rejected for the job. There's no telling. You can't know. And you need to get feedback because you need to know that you're doing a good job. And so I want you to look back at that and I want you to thank yourself for showing up, for doing the work, for doing the stuff that needed to get done. And I want you to give yourself permission to let it go until Monday. Let it go, because taking care of yourself is just as important as, applying to the next job. The whole game of job search is harder than having a job by a lot. And the whole game, it's about how do I keep up the energy to do this, and how do I do this without getting depressed or getting down or getting frustrated by the literal avalanche of rejection. And taking that moment to take it seriously, take 5 minutes, write down everything you did, do all of that stuff. Thank yourself for doing that, and then give yourself permission at the end of Friday to let it go until the weekend, unless there's some really compelling reason that you're looking for a job on the weekend. No one's posting jobs on the weekend. Very few are, and least of all, they're certainly not like looking at applications and stuff. Give yourself permission to let it go until Monday. Taking care of yourself is just as important as applying for that next job. So thank yourself. You will find a job. And if you do this, it will make your job search easier. You will find a job. Okay, thanks. Good luck.